get your inspiration from? Does it come from things that you've seen in your real life? Does it come from just, your imagination? Where do you get your ideas from?
That's one of the questions people always ask authors that authors tend to dread.
What's the thing?
But, including your friend Neil Gaiman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But from a variety of sources, I would say, every writer of fiction can only write about things that he or she knows. Mm-hmm. And that might be things that they know from their own experience, or it might be things that other people have told them about. It could be things that they've read somewhere else. John Lennon, the songwriter, was very inspired by everyday occurrences he read in newspapers. Oh. He was a big newspaper reader. So sometimes things that are happening in the news, but frequently things that are happening in my own life or that had happened in my own life. One of the stories in the book is called The Date Test, and the main character in that is a young woman in college. Mm-hmm. And certainly when I was writing about her, I thought of my 3 daughters, and I thought of their friends and people like that, a lot of kids that we've had in and out of our house over the years. So that inspired that. Mm-hmm. One thing that's frequently an inspiration for me for writing fiction is music and songs that I've heard. The story Mystery Girl there were 3 songs that I kept thinking about and playing while I was writing it. One of them was The Rain, the Park, and Other Things by the Cowsills. Nice. Another was The Girl That I Knew Somewhere by the Monkees. And the third one was She's a Mystery to Me by Roy Orbison. Oh,
we love Roy Orbison.
So all 3 of those songs inspired that story and some of the characters in that whole milieu of a mysterious woman. Even though in this case, the mysterious woman was about 14 years old.
Thank you so much. So I know I thoroughly have enjoyed it. I've read it first, but I know you guys all probably are super excited about this. So where can they actually get your book?
Okay. Lion Taming, Dating, and Other Dangerous Endeavors. It's available to anyone, anywhere, because it's on Amazon, where it's available in paperback and ebook. Okay. Ebook's quite a bargain, and you get it instantly. But I, for one, love nothing better than getting myself lost in a bookstore, a bricks and mortar bookstore, mm-hmm. for an afternoon. And it is actually available in 4 bookstores here in Nebraska. Susan's Books and Gifts in Aurora, Chapters Books and Gifts in Seward, Francie and Finch Bookshop in Lincoln, and The Bookworm in Omaha.
Well, that sounds like a perfect thing for you to do before your next Husker game, is to check it out at Francie and Finch or the next time you're in one of those towns. And we love supporting small business, so thank you so much. So was there any challenges in writing this book? And why did you pick short stories instead of a novel?
There's a couple of reasons for that. As I was first getting into doing this writing, since I hadn't done something like this for a long time, I wanted to take it in kind of bite-sized pieces. Mm-hmm. And the first story I wrote was a little more than 500 words. And I chose that length, what some people would call flash fiction, mm-hmm. because I certainly knew that I had written newspaper stories that long, mm-hmm. or in my current job as a copywriter for a marketing agency, I frequently write things that are 500 words. Mm-hmm. And then as I went along, the stories got longer and more in-depth. So the longest story, the last one in the book, Their Old School, is actually more than 7,000 words.
Wow.
So that was one reason. Another reason was because it gave me a chance to explore a lot of different kinds of things, different sorts of stories, or I experimented with some things while When the Calliope Music Fades, for instance, is nonlinear storytelling. In another one of the, like I mentioned before, another one of the stories, Sweet Things Are Made of Cheese, is built all around misheard song lyrics. So it gave me an opportunity to explore a lot of different storytelling forms. And also, too, some of the best writers in literary history were masters of the short story. People always think of O. Henry and his short stories, and some of mine have those kind of O. Henry-ish endings. But Mark Twain was a master of the short story. And a lot of his work, people think of Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, and those are great novels. But a lot of his work was actually told in the form of short stories.
I did not know that.
Raymond Chandler wrote a lot of short stories. And Stephen King began his literary career writing short stories, and by all reports, still loves that as a writing form and likes to return to it periodically because the challenges are different than those involved with writing a full-length novel.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering that. A couple more questions for you. Do you have a favorite story in the book? Or are they like children? You can't pick a favorite.
I would say they're kind of like children. There are some that, but I don't have 12 children. There are 12 stories in the book. So I can safely say that there are some that are a little dearer to my heart than others. I was telling a friend recently that when I wrote Mystery Girl, that I had so much fun with the characters in the book. I really got to the place where I enjoyed those 4 kids and spending time with them. And when the story came to an end, I was a little sad that I couldn't hang out with them anymore. So that's one of my favorites. I also like The Date Test. That's one of my favorites. And the test that the Ivy, the main character, devises for her social work project in college is actually one that I devised, and I had 4 people take themselves so we could get some idea what the results were. I do like When the Calliope Music Fades quite a bit. The final story in the book, Their Old School, that's kind of near and dear to my heart because it was based on the school I actually attended from kindergarten through 6th grade. So it is a bit like an old school reunion for me, that one.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, thank you again for chatting with us today. Once again, this was an interview with R.J. Post, the author of Lion Taming, Dating, and Other Endeavors, and you can get that on Amazon, both in ebook or in paperback, and then at 4 different bookstores in Nebraska, which were The Bookworm in Omaha, Francie and Finch in Lincoln, Susan's Books and Gifts in Aurora, and then Chapters Books and Gifts in Seward. Thank you again for joining me tonight. Well, thank you, Lauren. I had fun discussing the book with you. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, follow, and share the R.J. Post Author Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube channel.